Greetings, netizens. Hope everyone is doing well out there today, tonight, this evening, this afternoon, this morning, whichever it might be, wherever you are. Yeah, it's been a while since I've put any videos up. I'm going to try to make this a short one. I know I say that every time, but I'm going to make sure this one doesn't go on for very long. So I just wanted to say, now I'm thinking about writing a little short article that I'll probably post a little later, but to get the gist of it out there, of my thoughts out there, I'll say this. Well, we have, first of all, with the health industry, medical industry or whatever, there's a lot of new techniques and theories and such coming out about holistics and things like that, but also as well there's starting to be more attention focused on the actual electrical circuitry of the body. And from information that I've come across and videos I've watched, articles I've read, this very much coincides or correlates actually with some of the audible resonance or what have you, sound resonance of some of the presentations that David Wilcock has done. And this basically, it's sound resonance, but also there's a correlation between sound and also the different colors. Say, for example, the 7 colors of the rainbow coincide with different frequencies. Okay, and those frequencies can be compared or associated with sound frequencies as well, which goes back the light frequencies, the DNA, and how our DNA works, how our DNA uses the light spectrum to perform its duties or its job, what it's supposed to do. And also the sound. It's coming out that there's a lot of information about sound and how it can be used to help people, help bodies heal and stay healthy, actually. That's one part of it that came out, and it's just such a scam, these pharmaceutical or the medical industry, the health, they come up with these medications that they treat a symptom, but they don't necessarily cure or heal that specific illness within a person, and a lot of times the side effects are even more severe or detrimental than the actual illness or symptom that you're taking the medication for. And most of all of this stuff can be replaced, and I think this is a key issue here. It can be replaced by this light and resonant sound techniques that some of these doctors are using. And what is the result of that? If it became popular, more mainstream, well, the pharmaceuticals companies would lose all their money on these defective, I'll call them defective drugs that they have engineered. Or maybe they're not defective from their perspective, because that's the whole idea, is for them to put out a medication that a lot of people and make sure that they grease the palms of a lot of these doctors so that they will prescribe these medications. So a lot of people, there's a lot of profit potentiality that is threatened by a more holistic type of treatment and techniques and methods, such as these sound and light frequencies. But if we look around, that's the driving force behind everything is a profit. And y'all know that I've harped on this before. Look, we have, and the title of this paper, let me see, okay, just a few minutes, okay. The title of this article that I'm getting ready to write is called Psyched into Insanity. Okay, and the premise of it is, for thousands of years, two of the systems that have developed over the thousands of years that people proclaim that we could not exist without, okay? And those two areas, one of them is money, okay? And the other is, and I don't say this to threaten or attack or what have you or any negativeness directed towards anybody's religion, the faith that they have, how they practice it or whatever. But I will have to say that the money, that was a control. I feel that it is a control machination. And the people that developed that type of system, it only attracted, people saw it was a good idea. Hey, I can buy an apple today at this apple season time, or the vendor can sell his apple at apple season time in exchange for something that he could use later to maybe buy a necessity or trade for a necessity that he needed when apples weren't in season or the produce or whatever was not available. So therefore, say he needed a table built or something, So that store of wealth, that he was able to, acquisition through his selling of the produce that he harvested, grew, that the tree grew, he harvested and took to market and sold it. So this person needs, something. And so he doesn't have any more produce to sell, but he does have a store of what some would consider something that was of represented wealth or an exchange medium for something that he needed that he didn't have access to, and some other merchant had access to. And so maybe it was out of apple growing season time or what have you, and he was able to take his exchange medium over to the person, say, that makes tables or whatever, and he could make an exchange for the table he needed for this store of, or this exchange medium that people have decided upon. Now, that's the majority of the people had decided on this, but this could also be as an individual to individual, peer-to-peer or whatever exchange, and he could agree on whatever. But somebody, threw this idea out there and convinced everybody that it sounded really good. Hey, yeah, we do this, do that. Well, we can exchange even though you don't have a product, but from selling your product previously, you've got a store of exchange medium that you'll be able to use to purchase or exchange for some other types of products at different times, okay? Sounds great. But meanwhile, everybody has lost, I would be thinking, I believe, maybe, that I would be thinking, well, gosh, why don't we just learn to work together? Look, you need this done, I need this done, whatever. You need that, I need the other, or whatever, and let's work together and we can provide for both of our needs, and it won't cost us any money. We don't have to depend on these crooked and dubious machinations of people that were in charge of, putting a value on these exchange mediums. You see? So on and on and on, you take both of these, the religion or religions, these faiths, and then you have this money system, and if you follow that up from ancient times to history, you see that 2,000 years, and I'm just using, this is a rough guesstimate, I'm checking my time, trying not to go over, a rough guesstimate, but say 2,000 years ago, okay, and we're going to call that, you have Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, okay, or Muslim, whatever. And so, after 2,000 years, now I don't know about Judaism or Islam, that I don't know all of the details and everything about it. I know a little bit about them. And I don't know everything about Christianity, but as from what you read, how I was brought up and what I was told about Christianity was it was a belief system. It was a faith, to have faith in a particular character that was a great teacher. And by following, his teachings, then we would also be able to live up to the expectations of the material that this teacher taught, okay? But if you follow it through time, for one, these days and times, we're not paying too much attention to what that teacher said. We're paying, I think, more attention to what all these other people around him that translated or gave their meaning of what the teacher said. Okay, and so people aren't being taught the techniques, the reasonings, the philosophy behind those teachings. Okay, so that, and a lot of stuff has been added in, and we've been told this and that, and you have to do it this way and that way. No, and this is what I meant by being psyched into insanity. Because then you also have a money system, okay? The money system is the same way, but it's covertly done. And so is the religion. Some people really understand what's going on, and they use it to fleece the flock, okay? Or they use it to better their position within society, as far as socially and materially, or wealth-wise, money-wise, whatever. This goes against everything that the teacher was trying to teach, at least from what I have gathered from reading his words, or supposedly what were his words, not all the other stuff, but what he specifically said, okay? And they don't match up, they don't line up. But even though we are and this could probably be a big reason why Christianity and the belief in God or whatever has been fading out, is because these people have not been accurately teaching those teachings. They've just been taking you need to be moral and be like this, and you need to do this because Jesus said so, or whatever. But they've not taken that information in, and they've only studied it from one perspective, or maybe two, maybe three. But there's a lot more perspectives to all of this than what people are admitting to. And so the money's the same thing. And both, I think they were developed and used. I think they hoodwinked people, they fooled people, they deceived people, they psyched people out to instill a belief within them. And this is globally. And the same with the money, the same thing. They have They have psyched people into believing that something has value, okay? And all the while, for the most part, all the while, our world, it's insane. It's nothing but insanity going on here. And there was a quote, to paraphrase, there's two quotes by Albert Einstein. The first one is that a problem cannot be solved by the same mentality that caused it. Okay? That makes a lot of sense to me. And the other thing he said, or his other quote that I particularly like, is that, let me think, what was it? The definition, and this is to paraphrase, but the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different outcome. So I look at that, and I look at the monetary system, I look at these spiritual, religious systems or whatever, and personally, for me, I see, as Albert Einstein said, the continuation to do the same thing over and over and over and expect different results is the definition of insanity. To me, that's what the monetary and the religious systems look like. Because, and there's documented proof. I'll have to, if somebody wants the documentation or proof of where this came from, I'll provide it if you get in contact with me. But there are like over 7,000 people, about 7,000 people, and they meditated, focused meditation, and they synchronously, together, synchronously. And they were able to affect, and it was proven that, there were no other outside factors involved that caused this result, but they were able to affect in fact, lower the amount of violence that happened within a certain period of time in this country. And they were able to do that, and it was proven. Okay? So my question is, if there's 7,000 people that did this, 1 day, 2 days, whatever, then why don't we see, results like this that are beneficial globally, worldwide, or even in this country, by churchgoers or temple goers or whatever you want to call them, at least 1 day out of the week where all these people are brought together and, they're, let's pray and blah, blah, blah. But does anything come from that? It might make that individual, maybe, it might make them feel a little better and feel part of a group. But that effect, it could be so much more than what it is, and it's not. And why? And I ask, why is it not? And I think that it's because when you're, from a kid on up or whatever, and you're taught to pray, you're not taught really the mechanics behind it or whatever. You're just supposed to say, just believe and pray. And most people don't even know who or what they're praying to. They're just putting it out there. But yet, they don't they don't want to believe in any other kind of spiritual faith or anything. So yeah, we got all these people out here, that has been proven that they've been able to affect or lower the violence at a particular time and in a particular area. Okay, why can't that be done? Islam, they call people to prayer 5 times a day. Okay? Nothing's being done. It's just, okay, and the money. And here we are with the money. Fiat system after fiat system after fiat system. They all fail. They all fail. Well, what did What did Albert Einstein say? The definition of insanity is continuing to do the same thing over and over and expect a different result. So, which brings me between the faiths and the monetary systems. Why the world is insane. But if you follow the way that the average person is taught or supposedly taught or attempted to be taught, then you say, okay, yeah, it works like this, okay, and I understand, I see how the flow goes. But when you stop and look at real life situations and look at these systems and how the reactions of people and what they've actually accomplished and not, apparently this insanity was engineered. It was programmed. The systems were programmed to produce exactly what it has produced up to this point. And I think now is a time a lot of people are waking up, the Great Awakening, whatever you want to call it, and people are starting to realize. And we need to tear down these old systems, get rid of them. And we need to approach these situations, these systems, or however you would like to label them, from a different or many different perspectives, or in the form of one word or 3 words, shift our paradigms, the way that we solve problems. Because for the past few thousand years, we've been repeating the things over and over and over, and we still end up with a society full of corruption and criminality because we aren't paying any attention to the spirit. I feel. I think that's part of it. And another part is education. Nobody has the desire or the will to learn anything. And this is all brought about because everybody is totally frustrated and disgusted with these systems of insanity. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm going to get that thing posted up pretty soon, and I'll have this video up soon. Everybody have a great day. Enjoy your life. Life is wonderful, and it's meant to be enjoyed. It's not meant to be a slave, to be taken advantage of, to be always oppressed or suppressed or repressed. Either way, any of those. We're supposed to enjoy this. And that's why I feel so strongly about love, living on virtual energy, or logically optimizing the virtual environment. Either way, it works. It works. So anyway, y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you later.